Hey everybody, Drew here for Drew at Underground Gaming, back with another Underground Gaming stream, episode 11. As you guys see by the thumbnail, while Patrick Mahomes is trying to limp his way through the Bengals to Arizona to the Super Bowl, we're here to talk about Xbox Bethesda Developer Direct that happened on January 25th, this past Wednesday. So we're going to try to limp through this like we're Patrick Mahomes playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. But joining me is my younger brother, Desert Nord. Hey, bro.
Hey there.
How did you like that opening for tonight?
Sure. That's good.
And speaking...
it's an exciting game for what it's worth right now.
Yeah, and speaking of limping, like Patrick Mahomes, that's exactly what Xbox did on Wednesday. They limped out whatever the fuck that was supposed to be. Because going into it, I know that there was a lot of people, myself and you included, that needed, wanted, and just we had to have something, anything about anything major coming out, and we got nothing on anything major coming out of this. Your thoughts before I go over the specifics of what we saw? Nord?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts before I go over anything specific about what we saw from the Developer Direct?
Oh, well, overall, the only focal point of excitement that was ever going to be for me in that presentation was the solo announcement. But I do have to give props to the Forza, because while not being a big Forza fan, I do have to admit they are developing something special over there at the Forza team. And
well, considering that
if they can avoid the woke bull that they put into the last game,
which was Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah, 5, Horizon 5. If they can avoid that and just focus completely on making a good photorealistic,
racing game
that just is pure, and it'll be great. It'll be fine. I really like what they're doing, what they're telling us they're doing. I like all that, because that's the way game development should be.
Yeah.
They should focus on tiny details, focus on making quality experience for the race, good-looking cars, realistic as possible, just be a gamer as a developer. For Christ's sake, be a gamer. Is that too hard for people, Instead of being an activist or some kind of hack or some kind of social deviant that's trying to push their deviance on the rest of the population, instead of any of that, how about just be a gamer as a developer? Really, it's really simple. So I do appreciate what the Forza team is doing right now, because that's gamer stuff right there.
I will simply say this about this particular side of it that you're talking about before I get to my thoughts of everything, before we get into anything specific. Pronouns make sense to me on cars, not people. i.e. they, them. It makes sense for a car.
It's irrelevant is what my point would be about.
Do you understand where I'm coming from, though?
When they try to make it relevant to make other people feel good, it's like literally when everyone's in a racing game, you want to know what they care about? When they press the button to press the gas, they just want to feel like they're in a actual fucking race. That's what it is. They don't play the game because, I'm a driver and I'm really there and it's really me and I need my identity.
A fucking
I
game,
believe
folks.
I am affirmed for me in a video game. It's like affirming your identity has nothing to do with gaming at all. But that's not what we're doing here. This is an escapism thing.
And I know I'm comparing apples to oranges here, but let's compare Forza Motorsports to Elder Scrolls, Skyrim specifically. Yeah, apples to oranges. But on the one hand, I kind of forget where I'm going here. Oh, yeah. Escapism. Gaming is supposed to be an escapism from all the array of horse shit around us in the physical world that we live in. You know, the Milky Way, planet Earth, reality. When you go into a game and you find all the array of horseshit that you're trying to escape, that ruins the experience entirely. So, for example, Skyrim. It's a great place to escape and whatnot. Forza, supposed to be that way, but isn't. But you were saying?
Entire existence of RPG style gaming.
Yeah.
Is to do things and be something you could never be in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Not to take your real life self and inject it into the game.
But
because you have a real life, and if you've lost track of that, the fact that you are a real person with a real life and a real, set of family and set of friends and real life decisions to make out here in the real world, if you've lost sight of that and you think that your game life is more important or means more or should reflect you more than real life, then you've lost track of you developing delusions at that point.
It's one thing.
Lost track of your sanity.
It's one thing to try to inject your politics and everything you are from that aspect into whatever game. It's a whole nother story to take just you inserting yourself into a character like in Skyrim and living in that world, that lore, that experience. So, for example, Drew Dat living as the Dragonborn in Skyrim. That's a whole nother story then. A libertarian moderate jumping out there into Tamriel going, everyone should get along and just shut the fuck up. That's a whole nother fucking ballgame at that point.
Well, my point is that in real life, we all have real lives to live. Nobody who plays these games is an actual computer program. We're all people here. Okay, we all have real lives to live.
Yeah.
And our real lives do all matter more than the game life. Okay.
Despite
what anyone wants to say to themselves.
But games are here for us to escape from this life for at least a little while so we don't lose our fucking sanity. But we've gone completely off the fucking rails here, too.
It is for the purpose of doing what you would never be able to or could never do in real life.
But we've gotten completely off.
In real life, why don't you go do them?
Yeah, but we've gotten completely off fucking topic entirely.
Yeah.
So, Xbox Bethesda Developer Direct from January 25th, this past Wednesday. They kicked us off with some Minecraft bullshit.
Sure, yeah. No, I mean, if you're a Minecraft player, I guess that's exciting, but I'm not, so...
Yeah, I've dabbled in it, but it's not really my thing.
Yeah, it's just...
No, if I had people that cared about it that I play games on with online, yeah, I probably might, but I don't. Then, the same old trope from Xbox, Forza, Gears, Halo. Here's Forza to ruin the fucking party. Again.
Mm-hmm.
And then, a surprise announcement. What the hell is this thing called? Oh, Hilo Rush.
Hi-Fi.
Oh, Hi-Fi. Fuck. Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush.
And the game launched right after the stream on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Into Game Pass. So, surprise stealth release of that. It's on Xbox Game Pass. Go check it out. Otherwise, it's, I think, like $30 or $40 for full retail price. So...
Yeah, and it seems to be, I mean, I always appreciate think of new ways of having, I'm just unsure of whether this is actually very original or not.
It's essentially mixing kind of a version of Guitar Hero with an action adventure beat 'em up akin to Devil May Cry type of thing, but with anime graphics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was that one? Skyland Drive, I think it was called.
I don't know.
You remember back in the GameCube is when it came out, I think.
That was so fucking long ago. I barely know what happened yesterday.
That's why I'm questioning whether this is all that original. But it has that feel.
It has the feel of something interesting, but not like move the needle interesting.
yeah, it seems like it'll be interesting for like about 30 seconds, and then it'll be immediately
Or
repetitious and boring.
or like 2 hours, then you're off to the other thing after you stream it for 2 hours.
Now it's I'll give them credit where credit's due in regards to creativity to a certain point. I just don't know if it's original or very original. It seems like an idea that's already been fleshed out before.
Yeah.
Like you said, with like more in line with Guitar Hero or Dance Dance Revolution, or those sort of like to the beat type games.
Rhythm games, yeah.
Yeah, like music based, music driven combat. It's not,
and those
really
are kind of dated anyway, because those were really popular like during the 360 era anyway.
Yeah, and then when they came out with the Wii, especially.
Yeah, but as it is, Hi-Fi Rush came out on Wednesday evening, so, and like I said, I haven't installed on my Series X. I just need to find time to get to it. Between all of the other stuff that I still got to catch up to doing and try to do as well with other games and shit. Speaking of other games and shit, that was a piss poor way to announce the Necrom expansion to Elder Scrolls Online.
Yep. Well, the thing is, I was unsure of what all they were going to have, but this is exactly the same way they rolled out the last pair of chapters. It's pretty much exactly how Braymore was rolled out. It's exactly the way Blackwood was done. And it's exactly the way High Isle was done. It's the same type of rollout. There's nothing whatsoever different about it. The only thing that makes it even whatsoever special, I mean, it's not new. There's no new, main villain character or anything. It's just Hermaeus Mora. We've seen him before.
Yeah. And we've
in the
beaten
Kobani Peninsula,
and we've
been 100 times.
And we've already beaten him in Skyrim, the Dragonborn DLC. But as it is coming June of this year, does it have an actual day, or is it just in June currently?
It's going to be the first week of June. I believe the 5th
for
PC, and then the 11th, I believe, for console.
So basically, right around the time of my birthday. That's nice.
Sure, yeah, kind of exactly like June 8th was when the last one came out. So I mean,
I remember because I was like, well, that's a nice birthday present.
Sure, yeah.
A game.
On your birthday.
Yeah, a game that I hardly play getting an expansion. Okay.
Sure, the eventual goal, I guess, they're trying to have here is to expand every section of the Tamriel map in ESO until it's all filled in.
Which I can thoroughly respect.
Yeah, I'm kind of laughing about the people who thought the rumors of like doing Akavir was going to happen. They are nowhere near that.
Well,
they are nowhere near Akavir at this point.
I was never under the impression they actually would. I was just saying that would be nice.
Yeah.
When I was talking about it beforehand.
Yeah, and okay, for people who don't know, it's basically the second continent of Nirn on the other side of the planet. So it'd be like doubling the size of the game.
Well, there's also Admora up north of
Sure, there's also Admora, yes.
As well, and then the supposed realm where the elves originated before going to Tamriel and then splitting off into Altmer, Dunmer, Orsimer, and everything in between.
Yeah, all the various Mers,
Yeah. But as it is. But that's getting to Elder Scrolls lore at this point. But Elder Scrolls Online, Necrom expansion, June, right around my birthday this year. After that, we finally got a release date to Redfall, which means we know the date in which Starfield won't happen before this date. So Redfall's coming May 2nd of this year, which means that so much for the first half of 2023, Bethesda and Xbox. Anyway.
Yeah, I hated being gaslighted by the developers of ESO there, about how this is somehow new.
Yeah.
And this was all requested stuff, that new class, the Arcanist, that they're adding. Like, I know that there are some people who requested a new class, But there's so many classes already, and people already don't know. Most of the players don't know how to even deal with it.
Yeah, how to interact or do or build each class anyway.
The game has such deep meta to begin with. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there are people who understand it. Of course, there are. There always will be those people. But the vast majority of people who play the game have no concept of what they're looking at. When you say, "Oh, what class are you?" They don't know. And you say, "Oh, you're a warden," or "Oh, you're a sword," or "Oh, you're a dragon knight." They don't know what that means. Like it's not immediately clear to them. And so, adding another class, while okay, maybe some of the people who understand the meta would care.
I know that
I feel like it's just Nightblade Part 2, really, is what that class is.
I know that this isn't a class, but I remember telling one of your friends in ESO that I'm a Brett, and he's like, I don't know what that means.
Well, that's a race.
I know that, but I remember him saying to me, I don't really know what a Breton is. I'm not familiar with that. Well, someone doesn't know about Elder Scrolls lore now.
Well, no, he does. It was what he meant by that is he doesn't. As far as Bretons go, he didn't know what makes Bretons special because he's never played as a Breton. That's what he meant.
Well, in the case of Breton, they're special due to their willingness to go do whatever they have to try to make it up the ladder of, what's the word I'm looking for here? The ladder of success in Tamriel, i.e. go from peasant to noble, i.e. go clear out a dungeon of bandits or go deliver a missive to another citizen, just whatever they have to do to try to get by, and also are well versed in magic due to the fact that they're half human, half elf, and also well known as like swordsmen as well. So,
okay, so basically, what I meant when I said that, or what I mean when I say that, is like, say for instance, my Lord Dragonite combination, right?
Yeah,
it's usually meant for tanks primarily because it is definitely the one that's going to have the highest health. To be able to resist the most damage for sure of really any class race combo. But like say if you were a Sork, you're obviously going to want to either do like Stanblade or Magicka.
This is a football game, dude. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's close now? Yeah.
Yeah, the Bengals just scored another touchdown to basically tie the game again.
Good.
Yeah, so now it's about 20. Well, after the point after, it'll be 20-20 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. So, but as it is, yeah, Elder Scrolls Online gets an expansion, and then Redfall has its release date. So we know the date in which after Starfield ought to be coming. And since it's May 2nd, obviously that's not during the first quarter or the first half, essentially, of 2023, like Bethesda and Microsoft were touting about when they delayed it from November 11th of last year in 2022, which means that release window is now a complete fucking lie then at that point.
Sure, they've spotted themselves an extra probably 8 months or more to work.
Well, now my prediction for a release date for Starfield is either it's coming out in November, a year after it was supposed to, or it ain't coming out at all this year. Those are my expectations.
At
this point now,
if it doesn't come out this year at all, they're really dragging their ass.
Well, after watching this, and we got no information on that, I knew we weren't going to get anything about Fable. I had let that a long time ago. But the one thing that they had to mention, they didn't, Starfield. Which then says to me the fact that we've only gotten snippets about Starfield and interviews from Todd Howard since June. And that's it. On top of the delay of the release date and more interviews from Todd Howard since the delay of the release date and everything. I'm expecting them to just say, yeah, I don't expect it this year at some point. Those are my expectations, which are basically through the ground and in the underground where I live. Hello. But as it is, it all comes down to my point of view of this whole entire fucking stream. It was a complete waste of fucking time, and I'm not going to get those 40 minutes of my life back. But I knew I had to watch it for the sake of talking about it on YouTube, So yeah, that's my final thought at the end. The Xbox Bethesda Developer Direct was a complete waste of time, is my official review of it. I'm not even going to waste my breath on giving it a letter grade like I usually do in presentations that Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft have done in the past, like for E3 and other various game revealing streams that they've done before. I'm not even going to put a letter grade to this shit, because for me it's not even worth an F- for me. It's not even worth giving them a failing grade for this, because I feel like they didn't even fucking try. For example, when you see advertisement on videos that you're trying to watch for an event like this one, which I was seeing ads on YouTube for this event, that said to me, this is supposed to mean something. They're supposed to be doing something big here. They did fucking nothing. So, for all the hype that was built up by Microsoft in putting ads out pretty much everywhere for the event, and for people to watch it and get this, more Forza, more Minecraft, a new game that blends like several different types of games together in Hi-Fi Rush, Elder Scrolls Online expansion, and Redfall. Who the fuck was this stream for? Nord?
Yeah, I was very disappointed and confused. I was like, well, basically, the only thing I tuned in for was the announcement. I was basically left going, oh, more of the same. Okay, so 2023 is going to basically be just like every other damn year. And really, I'm not going to be giving anything special.
And in the moments of the ending of this developer direct from Bethesda, supposedly, and Xbox, my mind wandered back to the old days of the Xbox One, in which not a lot of good exclusives were coming out, if any at all, for the Xbox One. That's what this reminded me of. No attempt at trying to convince people why they need their fucking system. Because nothing here is, outside of the fact that all of this is going to be on Game Pass, which is, by the way, also available on PC. But it will not convince anyone that going out and buying an Xbox is something you should be doing to play this stuff when you could play all of this on PC. So, now granted, anything that largely goes into Xbox Game Pass is on PC anyway, but I just don't know what to say about Xbox at this point. That hasn't been said for like the last 10 fucking years at this point. I'm basically at a loss for words from this, which is saying something for me. Nord?
Yeah, I just feel like it's sort of autopilot, really. I mean, there's a couple of developers that work for them that are trying their best, but as a company,
I don't think we saw anything from them, so.
Just not really expectations right now.
Yeah.
For this year.
Quite. Because
this did not lift my expectations much at all.
Because I have a list right here of stuff that has known release dates, and then we can add Redfall to that now. But this is a list of stuff that I was looking at for the top 10 list of anticipated games, which right now I feel like maybe Starfield shouldn't be number one, because now I'm not even expecting that this year now. like I said earlier. So I feel like Legend of Zelda has to be number one now. After that. But let's see, January 27th. So it's out now in the case of Dead Space for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. Hogwarts Legacy coming on February 10th for next gen, April 14th for last gen, and July 25th for Switch. Wulong Fallen Dynasty March 3rd. Star Wars Jedi Survivor March 17th. May 12th is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and supposedly coming out still this year at some point, even though it's got no release date. Assassin's Creed Mirage, Everspace 2, Hollow Knight, Silksong, skipping over Starfield, Valheim for console, Alan Wake 2, and MLB The Show 23. I guess Alan Wake 2 is going to have to make the top 10 list now at number 10 now. Because with Starfield now not in it, because, like I said, I'm not expecting it this year at this point. Congratulations, Microsoft. You've made me feel like you don't even give a shit about Starfield now. Nord?
Yeah, it's major disappointment there.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say other than I expected more.
Starfield is supposed to be the top release for Xbox, right?
Supposed to be.
New IP from Bethesda for the first time since Elder Scrolls itself, Arena.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Might as well not exist at this point, considering no information coming out. We've barely fucking seen it. We were told a release date, then it got delayed to oblivion, basically, pun intended. So Starfield is probably now sitting in the lap of Merrim's Dagon, and he's laughing his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add before we talk about what we've been playing?
They just need to get more creative in that. I just feel like it's, for the most part, it's pathetic. And it's not that I'm unsatisfiable. It's just that there is a list of things, especially when we're talking about Elder Scrolls. There's a list of things, and you can see it if you go back and look at the chat stream on that developer stream.
Mm-hmm.
The chat comments, like everybody who plays ESO was like, "Do you people not understand that your game is still very broken right now? Like you have fixes that you have to work on that are game breaking."
When you try to log off of Elder Scrolls Online and your whole fucking console seizes up, i.e. the Xbox Series X, the most advanced console that's supposed to be out there, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When the current hardware cannot properly fucking close out the goddamn game on an always online game, like Elder Scrolls Online, there's a fucking problem. Which makes me ask you, Nord, and you might as well say this on stream since we are live. Does your launch model Xbox One have any worse issues than my Series X does with ESO?
Yeah, that's actually the weird part about it. I get slow loading and occasionally longer loading screens than other people, but it's not ever really that drastic to where I'm offended. What I don't get that you guys in the newer models get is the console itself sluggishly getting to where it freezes and crashes. I don't get that. That doesn't happen to me.
That's fucking weird, isn't it, Microsoft? The
background shader program eating up the RAM. That is what my theory has been about it. And it's ever since they added the shader program for the newer series models, console models in mid 2021, it's been doing that to new console players.
Just to reiterate, I'm playing Elder Scrolls Online on an Xbox Series X. Nord is playing it on a launch model, the old VCR Xbox One that came with the Kinect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's not having the issues that Series X owners are. At all. Yeah, slower load times, which is the way the console is designed back then. But it's not crashing, freezing, and failing to respond with the dashboard when you're trying to log out of the game, like it is for us with the newer hardware. That is a major fucking faux pas on Xbox and Bethesda and ZeniMax at that point. When the newest fucking hardware runs shittier than the oldest fucking hardware that could run this shit, that's a problem. A major fucking problem. That seemingly Bethesda and Xbox seemingly don't give a shit about. So as far as I'm concerned, and you can take this to the bank and cash it, until Bethesda and Xbox fix how ESO runs on the Series X, I'm not fucking touching it. So that's where I stand on ESO at the moment. They can release Necrom all they want. I'm not going to play it. So,
I mean, I'm not probably going to buy it early. That's for sure. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. But as
by the way, people who did, by the way, were given a pet and a mouth.
They were given what?
What happened right away, though? I said everybody was given a pet and a mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But the fucking mouth couldn't even be seen. Everybody was riding around an invisible mouth. No one could see the mouth.
That's nice.
This is the level of like quality we get with ESO right now. So they have bigger problems than having enough content. There's plenty of content. It just doesn't run right currently.
Yeah. But as it is, yeah, like we said, the developer direct was shit. The only highlight of it was Hi-Fi whatever dropping the same day, which was a fun little thing for people to go play a new game right then and there. And I do like when they do that, but it to me matters more when it's something that I see and that I'm like, oh, I think I might be interested in that. When I saw that, like, I don't give a single flying fuck. And for the record, I was watching this live via Dark Titan Entertainment's YouTube channel with Vera. And I was with her when right at the end they started rolling like the end like loop of games and shit, and she's like, "Can't be it, come on, guys." And it was. So I was with Vera in the disappointment of no Starfield, nothing, anything major, nothing really that will do anything to make anyone think. Xbox seemingly it does give a shit about releasing anything substantial this year. That isn't more Gears, Halo, Forza shit that we've been getting for the last 10 fucking years in succession. But as it is. And yes, I know what some people are going to say in the comments because there's no one live in the chat here. Drew, you're ripping Xbox apart? Yeah, because I fly the flag. I don't fly a flag of a fucking console. I'm not a console fanboy. I'm a gaming fanboy. So that doesn't matter if it's Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, or PC, or wherever I can play a fucking game. If said console manufacturer or company pisses me off, I'm going to tell you why they've pissed me off and why I don't like something. It doesn't matter if it's Sony, Microsoft, Steam, or Nintendo. I don't give a fuck. Welcome to the underground. Nord?
Yeah. I don't much care about Sony. I really don't. Their behavior in the last year, especially the last 2 years, has been really off-putting, and if I'm getting woke content and I'm getting corrupt company behavior and things are broken, nothing's right, and everything's overpriced, what's the upside?
Well, from my point of view, with apparently 2023, most of the stuff is going to be coming for PS5 and not PS4. This year, I can't give a shit about the new shit because none of it's coming for the PlayStation that I have. So, just going to be playing through all the stuff that I got to play through at that point. And then the Nintendo Switch is a whole nother story because, yeah. Between Legend of Zelda, the recent Pokemon Violet is pretty good. Buggy at times, but pretty good. And yeah, that's all I can really say about Nintendo at this point. But that's the state of gaming as far as we're concerned at this point. It's obviously on a major decline. Anything you want to add before we start trying to end this in the usual way that we try to end these things? Nord?
Well, I don't have anything else to say about the Microsoft thing, other than I was just sort of let down. I was like, oh, it's the same as it always is.
Yeah.
Just a cash grab as they always do. They're changing nothing. They're improving nothing. They're just giving us more content. Like I'm not already busy with everything they've already given you in the game.
And the
game is already a game you could play for literally 10 years and never get everything done. So
yeah, and you could say the same thing about Skyrim with all the mods that you can use. You can add new content at will with the mods. And do other shit that you've never done in Skyrim, for example, because of PC or console mods at that point. But as it is, still tied in the game. But yeah. What have you been? Well, first of all, do you have any gaming topics you want to bring up and discuss before we talk about what we've been playing lately?
Well, I did start playing Borderlands 3.
Oh, how's that going for you? Because I have that too.
Well, that's actually courtesy of my buddy. I met him before.
Oh yeah.
He decided to buy a copy for me, so I've been playing that. Because he's a higher level guy in there, and so he was gonna set me up with some OP weapons and stuff, just so I could get through things and level up fast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just like the other two titles. I mean, 1 and 2, with the exception of the storyline's a little more. Well, Joshy would say it's a little woke, perhaps. The character designs are very postmodern. And it's all like purple-haired punk rockers and stuff, and it's all very, it's lowbrow, very lowbrow at times, to the point where if you laugh, you're kind of douche. So I mean, that's I give them credit. The art style is exactly the same as it was in the other two. Mm-hmm. So if you like those, then you like this in terms of appearance. But it's never been my favorite series. You already know that. It's never been my favorite. It's just something I've played a lot and I'm familiar with, and I can appreciate good work where it's done. And it's not perfect. It really isn't, but I appreciate it. I mean, I really would give the game a grade.
That was right off of Chase's helmet.
Oh boy.
Dunk. Right off his head and on bounds.
That's a gaming that I figured that's a game I'd mention.
Yeah, I remember you and I playing the first Borderlands on the Xbox 360 when we were still living together. Or at least attempting to for a while. In the case of Borderlands 3, I have it for Xbox. Good, there's a pick. I just haven't started playing it yet. Well, Joe Burrow just threw another interception. That's nice. But as it is, for me, I've just been fidgeting with Skyrim still with... it was tipped by the other chief and another defender caught it. Okay. Because at first I thought it hit Higgins in the head and then fell into the receiver's hands. But yeah, sorry, I'm still watching the Chiefs Bengals AFC Championship game here on the Skype. But yeah, I've just been playing Skyrim, fidgeting with Madden just a little bit because I'm playing as a quarterback for the Titans currently. And also did play some Medieval Dynasty, which you guys can find here on the channel, which came over from Twitch at the time, of me trying to figure out how not to starve to death, and then I wound up starving to death. Nord?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
that's a good one.
Yeah. Have you watched that yet on the channel?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it.
What do you think? Because after that, I immediately went into fidgeting with it myself, and I figured out, oh, I have to push the menu button to bring up the inventory here. Fuck.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is with games. You see them out. You don't always know everything to begin with.
And then I wish I
more
had been
complicated.
streaming the rest of the day what I had been doing because I built my house. But at first, I couldn't figure out how to do that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, while I was on stream, I built the hammer so I could do that. God damn it. Because I was just standing there or just looking at the like plot of dirt that got put there and nothing was happening. So I'm like, am I supposed to like go sleep at like a campfire and wait like 24 hours or something? So I did so, and I came back a day later and nothing had happened. I'm like, okay, how long is this supposed to take? It was kind of like Gary trying to find a door in the Witcher moment for me. It took me about an hour to figure out, oh, I'm supposed to use the hammer, gather sticks, and actually physically build the fucking house. Okay. So, yeah, I wish I'd been streaming that at the time for you guys so you could laugh at how stupid I am. But yeah, I built the house, and you guys will see that next time I play Medieval Dynasty on stream. So I have a house in the game now. So, and I like where I put it. It's right across the road from the water that I starved to death in. So, anything you want to add, Nord?
Well, I mean, I haven't really. I've only seen what you've shown of that, so I don't have a lot I can really say about it.
No, of everything that I just said that I went through with the game and the struggles with it. Akin to watching Gary try to walk through a door in The Witcher.
Oh yeah, well Gary is really hilarious, horrific about things.
Well,
Like,
apparently I am at times too.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, when people are new to games, things aren't always obvious. They're not. It's not always like, oh, duh, that's right there, clear as day. It's not. It's not always like that. I mean, I'm pretty patient with people in learning how to play games and teaching them how to play games and stuff. So, I mean, I don't judge people in that way. I don't really look at it like they're an idiot. It's like I don't have that attitude towards people about learning how to play new things.
And my favorite part of that experience of playing Medieval Dynasty live on Twitch at the time, which, as I said, you can find that here on this channel on YouTube now, was Chuck the Punk's comments when I was asking, all right, how do I actually eat food so I don't starve to death? And I was asking the chat, and Chunk was like, I don't fucking know. I don't play games like this. Essentially, no, he didn't word it that way, but that's how I perceive it at that point. So it was funnier inside my head. I don't fucking know. I don't play shit like this. But yeah, Medieval Dynasty is fun. Despite what you guys see in the fucking video on YouTube, it is a fun game, and I do enjoy it. On the contrary to what I said about the developer in the fucking video. Anyway. But as it is, what are you going to be up to after this?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be playing ESO some more. Kind of helping some people, doing some endgame comp and stuff, and being a lot more lately with playing with other people, and it's always good with a group if you can play with a group, if you can find a group. So it's been going well. My character is getting, my character is basically what should I say? A full-on veteran character at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can go into vet content, no problem. So I can do most everything there is to do in the game. In groups, which is nice. But yeah, I'm going to be playing ESO some more. Because there's an event, there's the Season of the Dragon event that's going on for the next 9 days.
Mm.
So it's not running right, of course, because the game is so janky these days, but it there's glitches and kickouts and all sorts of server errors and stuff, and dragons in weird places and glitching and lagging and all sorts of stuff.
It sounds like you're talking about playing Skyrim with mods.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny because there really isn't any mods for ESO on console. It's just the game.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's mods available for ESO in the first place because it's an always online game. And you know how developers get about online games allowing mods, and I hate it. And rightly so, because you're sharing the world with everyone else at that point. But as it is, after this, I'm going to watch the end of the Chiefs-Bengals game. It's still 2020 with like 2.5 minutes left in the game. That's 4th and 12 with, I think Kansas City has the ball. Where on the field, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to watch the end of the game because this is getting good. I was worried that this would be a blowout during the first half, but Kansas City has been keeping up, and which I'm not surprised by because apparently Joe Burrow owns the Chiefs like Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, as it seems. But on that note, I got nothing else. You got nothing else, right?
No, I don't have anything else to say about any of that. We pretty much said everything there is to say about the presentation there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was a failure from our point of view.
And that was really the only gaming news this week, among everything.
And on
now,
that,
obviously, Josh, he had a rant he was going to go on about that other.
Yeah, but apparently he's sleeping under his rock again, so he's not here.
Okay. We all know that it's just a string of F words. It's the way it is.
Yeah,
we know it's. I'm sure our audience.
And he did want to talk about one of the creators of Rick and Morty and shit like that. But that probably belongs on the second channel. So
yeah, we can do it on that too.
Yeah. So on that note, stay tuned for a future stream of Breaking Rocks. Hopefully, Joshy will be around for that so he can talk about the Rick and Morty guy and what he did. On that note, remember. Keep playing the games that you love. Fuck Naughty Dog. Raylos are weird. And fuck bullshit. And that's all I can think of. Any other funny remark before we end this?
I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, it's just like, I guess now that we know that the 49ers have been eliminated, which kind of puts me in a tough position. I did want to mention something about that, but that was just a couple hours ago. So we'll be talking about that on the Tuesday stream, or was it the Wednesday stream? I forget.
Tuesday is when we do the football.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I feel a little bummed, but whatever. I mean, the Eagles are stellar, so I mean, it was one or the other, and then between the two, I can't say that I'm surprised, really.
Okay, shut up about football. This is a gaming stream.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see you guys on the second channel on Tuesday to talk about football for bench clearing brouhaha. And evidently, there was a bench clearing brouhaha, and we'll talk about that then. See you on Tuesday, guys.
Yeah. Yep. See you guys.